Joining us now is Jeff Kilburg. He is founder and CEO of KKM Financial. What do you make of that, Jeff? No news, good news?
I think JC brings up a great point. No news is good news, and here we are. We have earnings season. About 90% of the S&P 500 companies have reported. So yeah, we're at a really interesting moment in time. We're less than 10 handles away from the S&P 500 all-time high. Just put it 120 days ago, Sully. So put that into hours. That's not even 3,000 hours ago. We saw the S&P 500 at these levels. So pretty amazing to see this rubber band trade. We talk about the elasticity in the market. And what does elastic mean? It means it's able to resume its normal shape spontaneously after contraction. Yeah, I had to look that up, Sully. But this elastic movement is really interesting to see some of these unloved blue chip names. Look at a FedEx. What's going on with FedEx? Look at Masco. Look at Costco. So it's amazing to see the elasticity in these forgotten names. And that's really moving markets higher.
You think it's going to continue, Jeff?
I think it does. You know, we've talked about the ketchup trade. We have all the different names here on Worldwide Exchange, but I think it does as people continue to diminish or rotate a little bit out of technology. Technology is still our #1 sector, so we still want to own the FANGs. We have to switch out Netflix for Microsoft, of course, Sully, but we still want to be exposed to some of these broader industrial names that really got thrown out or abandoned in the month of March. So when we see the S&P 500 recover more than 50% since March 23rd's low, yes, it is defying gravity up here. Yes, it is a dislocated rally, but where else are assets going, Sully? They're going to U.S. equities due to the fact that the Federal Reserve continues to be committed in unlimited capacity with perpetuity, and that's the message that Fed Chairman Powell just articulates and continues to beat that drum.
Jeff, you and I were texting back and forth yesterday, and I tell you what, I don't think either of us wrote back, hey, tomorrow morning, do you think that Russia's going to announce they have a working vaccine? This crossing about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to put you on the spot. Russia basically claiming they've got a vaccine. You just heard Putin's daughter apparently has taken it. The futures are soaring. Do you think it's on the Russia vaccine news? Do we believe that?
I think that's an additional accelerant on today's marketplace. We want to see these all-time highs put back in February 19th taken out, and the vaccine. We've talked about this a lot. That's why we own IBB. This global sense of urgency for this vaccine, that really resonates today. So we get news out of Russia, we're going to embrace that, Sully. The marketplace here in Chicago, we need a vaccine. We're not going to school. So everyone hears about a vaccine, no matter what the country is, we are going to run to that, celebrate that, and embrace it. And here we go, Sully. New all-time highs in the S&P 500 once again.
Yeah, I mean, and just hoping the kids go back to school. And globally, you got tens of millions being plunged into poverty around the world as well, Jeff. Also, outside of, the vaccine news, and again, we're waiting to get more information on this Russia vaccine. I just tweeted out a story for the Washington Post. It's kind of a head-spinning moment here coming out of left field. By the way, I got Matthew Harrison of Morgan Stanley on. He's kind of a vaccine expert. We'll ask him what he thinks about that in just a minute. I want to talk about transport stocks because I don't want to give it away, but our RBI is about air travel. Transports have been red hot. They're hitting, in your technical terms, the golden cross. Are the transports telling you that more gains are ahead?
They are not telling us that yet, but nonetheless, I own American Airlines, Sully. I own Boeing. So it's going to be really interesting to see. These names are really, really borne the brunt of COVID-19. So yes, as we're seeing the TSA numbers, I know you quoted them early, we're not quite at 1 million passengers per day, but it seems like we're going to be there in about a week or so. So that's positivity. But these names, I mean, it was talking about catching a falling knife after a while, but when you see the Fed or the government come in to help these airlines, that puts a little bit of essentiality into some of these names. And owning these essential names, I think that's been a proven story going all the way back to the great financial crisis.